I'm going to deal with Heart of Darkness by Joseph Conrad. This particular literary work has been incorporated in the syllabus of fourth year honors under the National University. So I do welcome the students of Government Rajendra College to attend my virtual or online session. I am going to give my deliberation on Heart of Darkness, written by Joseph Conrad. Heart of Darkness by Joseph Conrad is a distinguished and remarkable literary work, and he has made his mark. The novelist has made his mark in the realm of English literature in literary landscape by producing such a work which deal with the question of human dignity to some extent. It is to be mentioned here that previously a considerable portion of the world was governed by colonial forces, and during that period of time those who were colonized had to undergo sufferings, humiliation, defeat, exploitation in some countries to some extent, and sufferings in the hands of colonial rulers was widespread. Sufferings were widespread in some of the countries. As human being, I think that you are well aware of the fact that we have some fundamental rights such as food, clothing, shelter, education, treatment, and so on. But during the colonial era, people had to suffer a lot. In the novella, this particular literary work is not a novel, maybe in a broader sense it can be termed as a novel, but in terms of its breadth and width, in terms of its length and breadth, in terms of its extent, it should not be regarded as a novel. Rather, it is to be mentioned as a novella. So novella is a short novel. In spite of being a short novel, Conrad has dealt with a very significant question of self-dignity, question of rights and privileges of the downtrodden people, of the underprivileged people, and it has drawn the attention of literary critics worldwide to some extent, and it has become a masterpiece in literary landscape. Here the narrator is Marlowe, and he is the captain of a river boat, and he is narrating a checkered account to those who are on board the river craft called Nelly. It is to be pinpointed here that a Belgian company which is headquartered in Brussels, that is the Belgian company, a company of Belgium has headquarters in Brussels, but in an African country named Congo, it has also its central station. So the people of Congo, African people, are exploited in the hands of the employees of the company. Marlowe has undertaken a long journey, and in the course of his journey he encounters different situations, different types of people, and he has unveiled the real picture of colonialism and the evil impact, bad impact of colonialism through his utterance. And Christopher Marlowe, it is not Christopher Marlowe, the narrator Marlowe has pinpointed some of the irregularities, some of the violation of human rights, some of the tortures inflicted by the colonial people to the colonized. Another significant character in this novella is Kurtz. Kurtz is very much preoccupied with collecting ivory. Ivory is a very precious object, and those who established colony in Congo had a preoccupation to exploit the native people to some extent. A number of people are responsible for this, and Kurtz was very much preoccupied with collection of ivory, and the native people started to hold a very positive opinion regarding him, but his preoccupation was with collection of ivory. It has also been pinpointed. This particular novella has also got layers of meanings: the question of exploitation, the question of imperialism, the question of colonialism, human dignity, deprivation of the rural people, deprivation of the native people, and so on. Joseph Conrad, as a champion of humanity, was greatly saddened by such goings on, by such activities, and such a phenomenon was not concentrated in Congo only. In the previous days, such a phenomenon, that is colonialism, was prevalent in a considerable part of the world. And it is also to be mentioned that there are some positive effects as well, in terms of scientific development, in terms of language development, in terms of communication. The colonial rulers also played some positive role to some extent, but a noticeable phenomenon is that the native people or the colonized people had to undergo sufferings. Sometimes they were deprived of their legitimate rights and privileges, and sometimes they were subjected to inhuman behavior, inhuman torture, particularly in terms of economic development, in terms of financial affairs, in terms of social rights, in terms of human rights. So, a heart of darkness delineates, if we interpret the literal meaning of the term heart of darkness, you will understand one thing, but it also conveys the message, it also makes clear that the inner darkness, that is the evil instinct in those people who tormented, who violated the rights of the native people, is the manifestation of, is the glaring manifestation of such darkness. The students belonging to honors 4th year classes are being asked to go through this particular novella if you want to comprehend the real purport, the real significance of this novella. And it has dealt with a issue of great significance. Even today, I think that you have become familiar with the term neo-colonialism. Neo-colonialism is a new version of colonialism, and some of the poorer countries are still being victims of such sort of colonialism. And Joseph Conrad, as a conscious individual, has pinpointed some of the lacuna, some of the drawbacks, some of the negative aspects of colonialism through his introspection and retrospection, and he has given a vivid description with regard to the deprivation with regard to the infringement or violation of rights of the native people through his write-up, through his literary work. So you will have to comprehend or perceive the real purport or the underlying significance of this novella through relentless endeavor and repeated efforts. I would like to wrap up today's lecture. I extend my thanks to all of my students belonging to third year. Thank you very much.